Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? We are going to study or discuss about one poem because I could not stop for death. 479. It's based on 4 years BA second year quote number 424. Okay. Poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death by Emily Dickinson. Okay, Emily Dickinson. And this poem is written. This poem was written in 1863. Okay, र यो 4 वर्षे BA दोस्रो वर्ष कोड नम्बर मेजर इङ्ग्लिस. ओके, मेजर इङ्ग्लिस को चाहिँ 424 नम्बर कोड. ओके, मेजर इङ्ग्लिस हो यो. ओके, कविता किनभने मृत्युको लागि रोक्न सकिन, किनभने म मृत्युको लागि रोक्न सकिन हो यसको. र एमिली डिकिन्सनद्वारा लिखित कविता 1863 मा चाहिँ यो कविता लेखिएको हो. यो कवितालाई हामीले सरसर्ती नेपालीमा केही बुझ्ने कोसिस गर्नेछौँ. ओके, सो सुरु गरौँ है त. फर्स्ट स्टेन्जा अलिकति यसलाई सानो गरौँ. ओके, let's make little here, Because I could not stop for death, he kindly stopped for me. The carriage held but just ourselves and immorality. Immortality. Okay, immortality. किनकि म मृत्युको लागि रोक्न सकिन अथवा सक्दिन थिएँ, ऊ दयाले मेरो लागि रोकियो है. ऊ चाहिँ मृत्युलाई रोक्न चाहेको थिएन, सकेको थिएन, तर मृत्युले नै उसलाई के गर्यो, रोक्न आइपुग्यो अथवा लिन आइपुग्यो भन्छ यहाँ. गाडी त रोकियो तर हामी आफै मात्र थियौँ र अमरता हैन. त्यो चाहिँ रोकियो यात्रामा गाडीमा, तर मृत्यु र ऊ मात्रै त्यहाँनिर थियो भन्छ, र एउटा अमरता थियो भन्छ है त. ओके, यो फर्स्ट स्टेन्जा गयो. अब सेकेन्ड स्टेन्जामा जाउँ. We slowly drove, he knew, no haste, and I had put away my labor and my leisure too for his civility. है. सो यहाँ के भन्छ, हामी बिस्तारै गाडी चलायौँ अथवा यात्रामा बिस्तारै हामी चलाएर गयौँ. उसलाई थाहा थियो कुनै हतार थिएन, मृत्युलाई चाहिँ यो कुरा हतार थिएन. र मैले टाढा राखेको त, एन्ड आई ह्याड पुट अवे भनेको छ उसले. माई लेबर एन्ड माई लिजाय टु भनेको छ, मेरो श्रम काम र म चाहिँ एकदम फुर्सदको समय अथवा मेरो सुविधाको समयमा पनि. र यो फर हिज सिभिलिटी भनेको चाहिँ उसको सभ्यताको लागि. मृत्यु पनि एउटा सभ्यता हो अथवा उसको सभ्यताको लागि भनेर यहाँ भनेको छ कविताले. इमिली डिकिन्सनले यो भनेका छन् कवितामा. सो लेट्स मुभ फरवर्ड. अर्को स्टेन्जामा. वी पास्ड the school where children stop. At recess in the ring, we passed the field of gazing grain, we passed the setting sun. हैन, हामीले चाहिँ स्कुलको त्यो अगाडिबाट भएर गयौँ, जहाँ केटाकेटीहरू चाहिँ पढाइ गर्थे अथवा पढिरहेका थिए, पढ्दथे. र यहाँ चाहिँ एट रिसेस भनेको चाहिँ छुट्टीको समयमा, त्यो छुट्टी हुन्छ नि स्कुलमा, छुट्टीको समयमा इन द रिङ बच्चाहरू चाहिँ के गर्छ, गोलो घेरा बनाएर खेलिरहेका थिए भन्छ हैन. अनि वी पास द फिल्ड अफ गेजिङ ग्रेन, हामीले घुरिरहेका अन्नका बारीहरू, खेतहरू हैन, पार गऱ्यौँ भन्छ. गेजिङ भनेको चाहिँ घुरेर हेर्नु है त. त्यो अन्नका बाली, खेतबारीका अन्न बालीले पनि उनीहरूलाई घुरेर हेरिरहेको थियो. ती सबै उनीहरू चाहिँ पार गरेर गयो भन्छ यहाँ. वी पास द सेटिङ सन, हामीले त्यो अस्ताउँदो सूर्यलाई पनि के गर्यौँ, पार गरेर नागेर गयौँ भन्छ. र कविले चाहिँ, कवियत्री अथवा इमिली डिक्सन जो कविता लेख्छन्, उन लेखेका थियो, यो कविले चाहिँ उनले सबै कुरो जीवनमा सबै कुरो चाहिँ उनले पार गरेर गइसक्यौँ भन्छन् यहाँ. अर्को स्टेन्जामा हेरौँ. Or rather, he passed us. The dews drew quivering and chill, for only Gossamer my gown, my tippet only tulle. अनि यहाँ के भन्छ, वा बरु उसले हामीलाई नागेर गयो भन्छ क्या. मृत्युले चाहिँ उसलाई नागेर गयो अरे. अनि त्यो जुन घामहरू त्यो छ नि त्यो घामहरू त्यो डिउ भनेको चाहिँ शीतहरू चाहिँ काँप्दै चिच्याउँदै अथवा एक किसिमले त्यो चिसो है चिल भनेको चिसो है एक किसिमको चिसो हुँदै हैन फर वानली गोजमेर माई गाउन त्यति बेला के थियो त उसको चाहिँ एउटा गाउन मात्रै थियो त्यो गाउन चाहिँ कस्तो थियो पातलो गाउन थियो हैन माई टिपेट वानली थल भन्ने चाहिँ टिपेट भनेको एक किसिमको स्कार्फ हो त्यो स्कार्फ केवल ट्युल एक किसिमको हल्का थियो त्यो पनि हैन र त्यो जाडोको समय उसले यी सबै कुराहरू चाहिँ पार गर्यो भन्छ क्या है अनि अगाडि जाउँ हामी वी पाउज्ड बिफोर अ हाउस द्याट सिम्ड सोइलिङ अफ द ग्राउन्ड है त्यो चाहिँ यस हामी सदन जस्तो देखिने घरको अगाडि हामी रोक्यौँ भन्छ क्या अनि सोइलिङ अफ द ग्राउन्ड भन्छ त्यहाँ उनीहरू चाहिँ त्यो घर जाँदा जाँदै त्यो बारीहरूमा त्यो बनाएको घरहरू जमिनमा बनाएको घरहरू देखे अनि त्यो सोइलिङ अफ द ग्राउन्ड त्यो जमिन त्यो घर चाहिँ दबिसकेको थियो अथवा त्यो यस्तो सुनेको जस्तो त्यो घर देख्दाखेरि चाहिँ जमिन सुनेर आएको जस्तो देखिन्थ्यो हैन द रूफ वाज स्कारली भिजिबल अनि छाना चाहिँ बिरलै देखिन्थ्यो अरे त्यहाँनेरि हैन द कर्निस इन द ग्राउन्ड त्यो सिलिङहरू त्यो घरको कर्निस भनेको चाहिँ सिलिङहरू हो हैन त्यो सिलिङहरू चाहिँ जमिनमा चाहिँ झरेको अथवा दबेको थियो भन्छ सो अर्को तल लास्ट स्टेन्जा होला यो हैन अलिकति सानो बनाउलाई ओके लास्ट स्टेन्जामा के भन्छ सिन्स देन द सेन्चुरिज एन्ड येट है त्यस बेलादेखि अथवा सदियौँदेखि र अझै पनि फिल्स सर्टर्स देन द डे दिनभन्दा छोटो लाग्दछ यो बिति नै रहेको छ गइरहेको छ दिनहरू होइन समयहरू बितिरहेको छ बित्दै गएको छ आई फर्स्ट सरमाइज द हर्सेस हेड वेयर टुवार्ड इटर्निटी अनि मैले पहिले बग्गीका घोडाहरूको टाउको अनुमान गरेँ अनन्ततातर्फ थिए भन्छ गइरहेका थिए भन्छ क्या अनन्ततर्फ यिनीहरू गइरहेका थिए है टुवार्ड्स भनेको चाहिँ अगाडि जाने सो उसले चाहिँ त्यो जुन ऊ घोडाको बग्गीमा बसेर त्यो घोडाको टाउको जसरी गएको जस्तै ऊ चाहिँ त्यो मृत्यु अनन्ततर्फ चाहिँ गइरहेको कुरा चाहिँ कवियत्रीले बताएका छन् सो लास्ट यहाँनिर हेरौँ अलिकति Emily Dickinson was born on December 10, 1883 in Amherst, Massachusetts. While she was extremely prolific as a poet and regularly enclosed poems in letters to friends, she was not publicly recognized during her lifetime. She died in Amherst in 1886, and the first volume of her work was published posthumously in 1890 है त अब यहाँ के भन्छ एमिली डिकिन्सनको जन्म डिसेम्बर 10 1830 मा एमहर्स्ट मैसेच्युसेट्समा भएको थियो अमेरिकामा है अब जब उनी कविको रूपमा अत्यन्त प्राख्यात थिइन् र साथीहरूलाई पत्रहरूमा नियमित रूपमा कविताहरू संलग्न गरिन् उनी आफ्नो जीवनकालमा सार्वजनिक रूपमा के गरे त उनले चाहिँ त्यति बेला चिनिएनन् उनको 1886 मा एमहर्स्टमा मृत्यु भयो र उनको कामको पहिलो खण्ड 1890 मा चाहिँ मरणोपरान्त प्रकाशित भएको थियो ओके अब हामी यहाँ अर्को स्टोरीतिर जाउँ ओके लेट्स गो Emily Dickinson, one of the foremost women poets in American literature, wrote more than 1800 poems during her lifetime, and many are being found increasing the account often. Her poems are honest, penetrative, and psychologically precise, with a great deal of adventure in every single piece. Okay, अलिकति यसो गरौँ सो यहाँसम्म हामी कहाँ पुग्यौँ एभ्री सिंगल पिस यहाँसम्म पुगेन ओके Unfortunately, only a handful of her poems are published, and it is the posthumous anthologies that made her famous as a poet. In the poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death, Dickinson deals with the afterlife and the speaker's travel with the personification of death. The poem is written in 6 stanzas and in the form of the lyrics, dealing with the theme of death. Right? Okay. The speaker in the poem is too busy to approach death. Therefore, death comes in the form of a gentleman to pick her up on a chariot. The carriage included no other, and the speaker travelled with the jilt alone. The civility of death is praised as the drives the chariot with a relaxed and steady pace with the provides ease to the poet. Okay. The chariot crosses a town where children are seen playing, and they are filled with the full of grain. The witness this serenity of the setting sun. But as the sun sets, the speaker feels the chill of the night and believes that she is not properly dressed for the occasion. Death with death. Okay. Death with death. They halt before a house that appears to be a small mound emerging from the ground, the grave of the speakers. She could not clearly see the roof of the house, and the cornice was nothing but the mound of the earth. The speakers realized that it has been centuries since his death, and it feels to her like yesterday that she was internally taken by death. Let's stanza 1. The speaker represents the human race when she declares that she is too busy to think about death. It has become our primordial instinct to survive through all the difficulties posed by the community, but death never forgets and comes after those whose time in this realm is over. To speaker, death is kind and offers a chariot to take her away. There is a lot of perplexity about the inclusion of immorality in the last line of the stanza, as the speaker says that the chariot has death, her and immortality. The reason for the inclusion of the word can be only understood from the meaning of the last stanza. Okay. Second stanza, the speaker considers death as a word who shows civility in the manners. She expresses pleasantness about the steady handing of the chariot by death. In response, she forgets all her labor and desire to enjoy the ride. This description of the chariot ride can interpret as a smooth passing of the soul after death, and the person has left the world without having to struggle too much nor with pain. Stanza 3 ko explanation. The third stanza in the poem, because I could not stop for death, through 3 various description gives a complete cycle of life. The chariot passes children playing joyfully, indicating the innocent childhood. Okay. The grazing grains attaining fruitfulness, indicating method and manhood. Okay. And the setting sun dawning light, indicating the old age, where one waits for the darkness to take over. Okay. Okay, यी सबैले सिचुएसनले चाहिँ कविता लेख्नेकोले चाहिँ के गरेको छ त उसको वृद्ध उमेरको अथवा बुढो समयको चाहिँ लक्षण देखाएको छ र जसले चाहिँ मृत्युले छिटै लिन आउँछ, अब मृत्युमा जान लागेको भन्ने बुझाउँछ। स्टेन्जा 4 मा The speaker shows uncertainty about the passing of the sun as the fields that they didn't pass over, but it was the sun who crossed them. This glimpses that the speaker is resting somewhere and it is her soul traveling in the chariot. Okay, रथ है chariot भनेको रथमा उसले चाहिँ ट्राभल गरिराखेको उसको सोल चाहिँ भन्ने कुरा. The realization slowly creeps into the speaker as she feels the chill and understands the way she dresses, which is inappropriate for a pleasant chariot ride, and feels as if it is an abrupt gesture from death. Okay. About stanza 5. The chariot pauses at her grave, which she calls as for house, and it is nothing but a swelling on the ground. It is indeed the house, but speaker's grave, where she rests and watches the world eternally. The journey of the speaker after witnessing different marvels of the world pauses at the grave and goes on. This indicates that there is an afterlife for her human race and she must continue her journey. The grave is only the resting place. So last stanza होला यो 6 मा. Stanza 6. The first line of the last stanza in Because I Could Not Stop for Death reveals that it has been centuries since the death of the speaker. Although it was so many years ago, she feels the memory as fresh and it feels as if it happened on that very day. She believes that it is day that died when the horses of the chariot were pointing her towards eternity. It is the reason for the inclusion of the immortality in the first stanza, as death, though appears to be a gentleman, apprehends the soul for eternity, and once one has to journey through without any respite. The poem Because I Could Not Stop for Death deals with heavy subjects such as death, time and eternity. Okay? मृत्यु, समय र अनन्तताको विषयमा कविताले चाहिँ डिलिङ गरेको छ. But Emily Dickinson deals with them in the simple manner so that the idea of intention of the poem is clearly visible to the readers. One can comprehend it infinite meanings on the poem, and this is one of the crowning pieces of the Dickinson because of the way death is personified as a gentleman and how the true nature of death causes a realization in the speaker about the eternity of being in a grave. Okay, guys, this much for today. Thank you. This much for today. Thank you, guys. See you next episode.